March 2020. The world was beginning to hear about a new virus spreading across continents. But for many of us, life still felt normal. Airports were busy, borders were open, and people continued to travel. London, March 1st. On March 1st, I began my journey from London Stansted Airport. The world was about to change. Flight to Vienna. My first stop was Vienna. The city welcomed travelers like any other day. Streets were full of life, cafes were open, and people moved freely through the city. March 2nd. Vienna felt calm and peaceful. News about the virus existed, but it still felt distant, almost unreal. Europe had not yet realized that it was standing at the edge of something historic. Italy, entering the outbreak zone. Later that day, I continued my journey to Italy. By then, Italy had become the center of the outbreak in Europe. The atmosphere felt different, quieter, more uncertain. March 3rd. In Milan, the signs were becoming clearer. Fewer tourists filled the famous squares. Conversations were cautious, and the tension in the air could be felt. In Italy, the situation was escalating rapidly. March 3rd, 2020. The country reported 79 deaths. March 4th, the number rose to 107 deaths. March 5th, Italy recorded 148 deaths. And by March 6th, the toll had climbed to 197 deaths. Each day, the numbers grew larger, and the reality became harder to ignore. From Italy, I traveled to Zurich in Switzerland. Life here seemed calm again. Borders were still open, and people continued moving across countries. Frankfurt, March 6th. By March 6th, I arrived in Frankfurt, Germany. News reports were growing more serious. Europe was slowly realizing that something unprecedented was unfolding. I crossed back to the United Kingdom by ferry, as flights across Europe were beginning to shut down. At that moment, none of us knew how quickly borders would close. As I arrived back in London, life still looked normal, but the storm had already begun. 7 days, 5 countries, a world before lockdown. Just 2 days later, Italy would enter a national lockdown on March 9th, 2020, and the world would never be the same again.